In this video, I am going to demonstrate Excel array formulas. I'm going to do that in the context of pricing a bond and laying out all the cash flows in a spreadsheet. So I'm going to try to find the present value of the bond. I can do this really simply, and I'll show you how with the PV function. So some of this isn't necessary, but I want you to see how everything fits together, how all the cash flows work and so on, and some of this array functionality. Okay, so what do we need? For the bond, some details, we need a notional, or let's call it principal. Principal, we need the coupon rate, we need the maturity, and we're going to need, I'll put it here, we're going to need the yield. This is going to be semi-annual yield. Let's format these things nicely because I always do that. So these will be heading 2. This will be heading 2. These are going to be inputs. This will be an input as well. Again, I separated my inputs. Let's have $100,000 of this bond, coupon rate of 5%, maturity 5 years. We'll start by doing the yield of 5%. Let's do this as currency with 0. I don't remember whether there's a percentage one set up. There is. There's percent. And that one will make percent as well. So present value. Present value of this bond, heading 2. We'll make this output, and we'll go with currency with 2 decimal places. So I can use the PV function, right? PV function per period interest rate is yield divided by 2, number of periods, maturity times 2, because this is semi-annual. The payment on the bond, I think I have to make this negative, is the principal times the coupon rate divided by 2. The future value is negative principal. So there's the present value. If the yield is less than the coupon rate, the bond is trading at a premium. You can see that 104,491. If the yield is bigger than coupon rate, then it trades at a discount, $95,000 for $100,000 of principal. For now, I'm going to leave the yield at 5%. If the yield's the same as the coupon rate, present value is $100,000. So that's pretty straightforward. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and we're going to add another present value calculation here. And make that heading 2, and we're going to make this an output cell. So what I want to do is I'm going to lay out the cash flows in the bond and discount them individually, and then we should get the same answer. So we're going to have cash flow number. We'll have the cash flow, PV, and then we'll add them up. Okay, let's get these formatted. A little wider. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So first pass, and I see students do this all the time. First pass, cash flow number. Well, 10-year bond, so we're going to go equals that plus 1. Did I get it? Oops, too many. All right. 10-year bond. And then the cash flow, well, if it's not the last one, it's going to be the principal times the coupon rate divided by 2. So we'll copy that down. I hate this, but I'll do it. Double click there, right? That's everywhere. And then we go, oh yeah, the last one, we are repaying the principal as well. 102,500, there we go, perfect. Present value is this divided by 1 plus yield divided by 2 to the power cash flow number. These should all be calculation style. We're all good to go. Let's just see that this works. Add up the present values. Didn't screw anything up. That's good. Check some other numbers. It all works. Okay, so Oddly. There. Okay. So there, it all works. We're all happy. Everybody's happy until somebody goes, how about a 4-year bond? This isn't a 4-year bond anymore, is it? It's still the 5-year bond. It's fine when the yield is that, but when we make the yield 4%, we get a different answer. So now we've got a problem, and so we go, ooh, these aren't right. And this one should be plus the principal. I match again. And then I go, what about a 3-year bond? And I go, oh dear, it's not right again. So something's not very good with this spreadsheet. So I look at my spreadsheet for a minute and I go, well, the problem is we don't know when the bond ends. So, next trick. Let's extend this down, and this is what we used to do all the time. Here we go, 23. I'm going to make this long. Okay, so 38. Let's make it 40 just to make life easy. Nice whole number, 40. Okay, so this cash flow, the coupon, is paid if cash flow number is less than or equal to, oops, didn't do that right, less than or equal to maturity times 2. There we go. That's the cash flow. And then, of course, we need to add in the principal. Plus, if A11 equals B3 times 2, let's put the principal in. And it puts the principal in. We're going to have 40 cash flows. Let's just check here. 5-year bond, that's good. 10-year bond, 20-year bond. Ooh, wait a minute, 10-year bond. Something went wrong. Oh yeah, something went wrong. Present value. Shouldn't be sum C11 to C20, of course. It should be C11 to, let's just do it properly. There we go. Okay, so now we should be able to go out to a 20-year bond. 25-year bond still doesn't work, but a 10-year bond, everything out to 20 years works. And so it's not beautiful, but it works, right? And this allows me to price any bond out to 20 years, and maybe I'd put a data restriction on this so it had to be less than or equal to 20, and maybe I go out to 30 or 50 or 100 or 1,000 or whatever it is so that this can work in almost all circumstances. Okay, so let's find another way, and I'm going to give you 2 more present value calculations. Again, why am I doing this? I want to see these cash flows, right? I don't want to just look at the bond like this. I want to think about what these cash flows might be. It might be that this is a more complicated bond and the cash flows aren't consistent across things, but for now we're just doing this. Okay, so we're going to see how to use array formulas. Now the first array formula I'm going to use, which we don't see very often, but we're going to use it a couple times here, is something called sequence. Sequence takes 4 parameters: rows, columns, start, and step. It's going to return however number of rows you've got, however number of columns you put in. Columns defaults to 1. I'm almost always using this building a vertical array, so I'm almost always leaving columns as 1. Start is what number we start with. Default for that's 1. Step is how we increment the number. Default is also 1. So if I put in, I'm just going to put this in so we can see what happens, 10, I get the numbers from 1 to 10. If I put in 20, I get the numbers from 1 to 20. 1 column. Let's start at 0 and go by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 20, right? Same idea. A couple cool things you can do. If I want the same number to repeat, let's say I want 200.25 to appear 20 times. I don't know why, but I decided I did. We can get the same number to appear lots of times. The other thing I should point out with this function, which is a little bit strange, is let's say there's some data here. whatever. This is going to give me what's called a spill error. It's trying to use the real estate in Excel below it, and it can't because there's some data there. So a spill error is going to occur, and this is useful if you are using the whole spreadsheet and might put something underneath this. My usual approach with these formulas is never put anything underneath this, right? These are for display, these are for whatever. I don't want anything underneath it because I don't want my spill errors. All right, so cash flow number, let's write this again, sequence. Well, I'm trying to mimic that. We know we want up to the maturity times 2. Now I get 4 of them. There they are, there's the 4, okay? Cash flow, well, we've got 2 parts to this, right? There's the coupon and there's the principal. Well, the coupon is just the same number repeated a bunch of times, right? So let's take maturity times 2, 1 column. The start is going to be the same. We're going to have step 0 in this particular one, and this is going to be the coupon. Principal times coupon rate divided by 2. And we're going to step by zeros. There's the $2,500 everywhere, right? It appears 4 times because we use the sequence function. Now the next piece is the principal. This is an extension of Excel, which has come in the last few years, but it's an extension of Excel to allow arrays or potentially ranges to be passed into existing functions. So the function I want to use here is the if, right? So I want if the number on the left there, the cash flow number, equals 4, put the principal in, otherwise don't do anything. And the way I do that is I do if, not equals, plus if. Okay, the logical test, I want to look at all of those numbers. Well, that's the first one, but I want all of them. And now there's a new Excel thing here. We put a hash. E13 hash refers to all of them. E13 hash equals maturity times 2. I'll explain what happens in a second. Principal, 0. Okay, what does this do? This if statement do? This if, E13 hash, basically takes an array of numbers, the E13 hash, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and calculates if on each of them individually, and returns an array of numbers, the first one being the if E13 equals B3 times 2, the second one is E14, the third one is E15, and so on. And it calculates this if statement. If it's true, it returns the principal. If it's not true, it returns 0. And you can see it's put the principal everywhere. Or sorry, put the principal only in the right spot. Present value, well, again, what's the present value formula? It's a cash flow divided by 1 plus yield over 2 to the power t, which is going to be the 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 2t, which is going to be the 1, 2, 3, 4. I can do this with an array formula as well. Here are all my cash flows. Divided by 1 plus the yield divided by 2 to the power. So what does that do? It, in this particular instance, is going to have 4 different formulas. It's going to return an array of 4 things. The first row is F13 and E13. The second one is F14 and E14. The third one is F15 and E15, and so on. And let's format these guys nicely. Let's make them currency. Let's make all of this be calculations. And we're going to do sum of all of these. Again, we don't know how many there are. So let's just check. 5 years, 10 years, 30 years. 30-year bond should have 60 cash flows. Present value formula extends out. All these cash flows extend out. You can see something annoying here though, right? I formatted the first 4 cells, not the entire formula. So let's do these guys with the right formatting, currency, and all of these. Calculations, everything looks pretty again. But of course, if I put in a 50-year bond, it's not going to work either. There are two approaches to this. I will talk about both of them in a later video. One approach is to format everything out to the biggest bond I can imagine, or if I'm really not going to use anything below, I could format this whole column. That sort of approach. My other approach to this, which I won't discuss here, would be to use conditional formatting. I prefer conditional formatting primarily because I don't like, oops, let's do this. Let's go back to a 4-year bond. I don't like these gray cells being blank, so I'd rather conditional format so that they aren't. I'll show you how to do that in a later video. Let me do one more present value calculation, which is along the lines of this. Right, this formula returns an array, right? It returns an array with 8 cash flows in this case, 8 present values in this case. I don't need to lay that out in the spreadsheet. Let me take this formula. I'm just going to copy it. The sum function takes an array. There's the sum. So if I didn't want to show the present values, I could avoid showing the present values. If I want to show them, I can. All right, so that's showing how to use some array formulas. It's allowing me to build this dynamic range. The dynamic range is really nice in part because this range, in my opinion, looks better than this one. I could try to get this range to look like this one. I've just got to do some more work. So, sorry, the wrong way around. I could make this range look more like this one by doing some more work, by jumping through more hoops. Here, I've got a dynamic array. I've got dynamic ranges. Everything expands and contracts as it should in a pretty simple way. We're going to make use of this in all sorts of other places, but I do find this is a slightly new functionality. It's slightly confusing. You've got to work your way around it. Make my spreadsheet look a little better. Output. There we go. All right, we're done. Thank you very much for watching.